Hello, my name is Lara. Welcome back to my channel. I have some balloons today. I hope they won't be annoying. I thought they would be really cute in the video, but now that I have them here, I don't know how to arrange them because they've kind of like deflated. All of these ones are on the ground and it seems like there's only one that still has helium. I had a birthday party last week, so I ordered some balloons. Anyways, I hope they're cute and not annoying. So today's video is very exciting because it is a collab video with my friend Shawna. Shawna Rapari does content all about makeup low buys, conscious consumerism. Like, I would say she's fairly similar to the kind of content that I do, but she has some really fun specific projects like no buy bingo. She also focuses a lot on fashion and the occasional books content, which is all stuff that I would love to do as well, but I'm just not quite brave enough to venture into those niches yet. But I highly recommend you check out her channel if you have not already. And of course, check out her collab video with me. In this video, I'm going to be talking about what to do when you are in a rut with your makeup, specifically if you are on a no buy or low buy and, you know, really having trouble sticking to it or finding inspiration, what to do in that case. I have to thank Shawna for the video idea. She's actually the one who came up with this. We had been saying that we should do a collab for a long time. We just needed to make it happen, to come up with an idea. And of course it was her who came up with the idea instead of me. I feel like I'm hopeless at coming up with video ideas. It's honestly a challenge every single week. Anyways, let's get right into the video. Okay, I put the balloons behind me because they were kind of getting to me. Also, I'm getting a haircut on June 16th. I'm pre-filming a bunch of content because June is really busy for me. I feel like I honestly say that every month, but with June, it's mostly social stuff, so that's good. So if you follow me on Instagram, you might have already seen that my hair is shorter, but I am getting a haircut. It's been since before COVID, so over 2.5 years since I've gotten a haircut. I'm very excited. Okay, back to the video. So a bit of background on me. I have been on a makeup no buy since early 2019. So it's been 3.5 years now. Yeah, 3.5 years now. Although I have brought in quite a bit of new makeup to my collection over the last couple of months, but I haven't purchased it. I've actually acquired new things from Buns and from friends who decluttered makeup to me. So I use the platform Buns, which is basically a trading platform. I give someone a shirt and they give me makeup they don't want anymore, for example, and I have gotten quite a bit of exciting makeup this way. I have talked about that in other videos, but yeah, just to let you know, I haven't stuck strictly to the makeup no buy, but I haven't gone out and purchased new makeup. So you can decide what that means to you. But I have definitely had my challenges with this makeup no buy. Originally, I wanted to just do a 1 year of makeup no buy and then 2 years, and then I decided that I would do 2.5 years. But when I got to sort of that 2 years and 4 months mark, I was really struggling with the no buy, and honestly, I think that was the only time that it was like challenging not going out and buying new makeup, because I was having trouble with my foundation products. So I only had 2 foundations at the time and 1 concealer, and I didn't really like any of them because they were all heavy coverage. One of the foundations was way too dark, if you remember the saga with my Tarte foundation. I'm so glad that's out of my life. And so because everything was full coverage, it just felt like I didn't have a ton of options for what to reach for. Makeup became a little bit less fun. So I actually did stick to the no buy. I think what I ended up doing was I got this product on Buns. This is the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk foundation. It's a little bit too light for me, so it mixed well with that dark shade, and also because it is such light coverage, I was able to mix this in with the other heavier coverage foundations. So I kind of found a way around it. But yeah, just know that all of the tips that I'm giving you in this video have been tried and tested by me. I have had struggles sticking to the no buy, and these are all things that have helped, so hopefully it will help you too. And if you need even more inspiration, definitely go and check out Shawna's video. I will have that linked down below, of course, and I'm curious to see if we have any like overlapping tips or if they're all going to be overlapping. I'm sure we'll have some similar tactics. Some of these things I've actually done as YouTube videos, but you can absolutely do them just on your own. You do not need to publicize it, but they're just sort of how I got the ideas for this. So the first one is to create some kind of challenge in your life. So for example, what I did was I said that for 1 month, I would only be able to use one product per category. So I curated this makeup bag that had one foundation, one lipstick, one blush, one bronzer, etc. And for that 1 month, those were the only products that I could use. I stuck to this fairly well. I wouldn't say I was the strictest person, but it definitely helped because after those 30 days, everything else in my collection was fair game, and it was super exciting to be able to reach for a different eyeshadow palette. The eyeshadow palette that I put in the challenge was actually my favorite eyeshadow palette, and yet I was still excited to use one of my other palettes when the month was over because I hadn't had access to it for a month. So doing this kind of thing will make you super grateful to have more than one product per category. You can definitely customize this kind of thing for yourself. So if you want to only stick to 2 products per category, or you want to try to do this challenge for 2 months, whatever you think will work best. I actually adapted this from Shawna's challenge. So she gave me the idea for this and it was super helpful. Again, you don't have to do this challenge exactly, but some kind of challenge where you are using your collection in a different way, or only using a certain segment of your collection, like maybe doing a shop my stash or a bi-weekly makeup bag. Something like that will really make you feel like you have a lot of options when you're through that challenge, however long it lasts. Tip number 2 is to work on curating your collection. Now, I don't necessarily mean declutter, but somehow this is kind of counterintuitive because you might feel like, oh, if you're already feeling like you want to go out and buy makeup, how will, making your collection smaller by decluttering certain products, how on earth is that going to help? That's just going to remove further choices when you already feel like you don't have enough. But by curating down your collection, what I like to do is chopping block products where I'm trying to decide whether or not I should keep something. I think it will really help you to determine what products you love in your collection and which products you don't. Because maybe the issue was just that you wanted to go out and buy new products because you were disliking whatever products you were currently working on. And so if you remove those products that you don't like as much from the equation, then you will find out that actually, your makeup collection's not that boring. You don't hate it that much. It's just that there were some things in there that you didn't enjoy. So take time and, try to curate your collection and really put products on the chopping block rather than just decluttering them straight away. That's my recommendation. Tip number 3 is to get more creative about the ways that you use specific products. I'm not the first one to say this by any means. Gooch actually did a video recently on different ways to use products, how to use your collection in ways you wouldn't expect. And Sarah Rose has this series where she talks about specific products, like let's say a highlight, and discusses all the different ways that you can use it on your face. Same with lipsticks. So I will link that playlist of hers below. But definitely those are great videos if you need inspiration, like you're really trying to use up one particular cream blush and you're just finding that you're not going through it fast enough as just a blush, try to use it as a lipstick, try to use it as an eyeshadow, and this can really help you get through your collection and make it more exciting and find different ways to use products that you wouldn't have thought of before. This kind of thing can really change your relationship with your collections and with your products because you can realize that they're way more useful and multifaceted than you had previously thought. My next tip is to make a plan. So if you really, really feel like you need to buy something stat, even if it's not a replacement, but you're just like, okay, I have 3 foundations and they're all heavy coverage. Like I really, really need to get a light coverage one, but I'm on this makeup no buy and I can't buy something for however long. Make specific plans. Figure out when exactly you're on that makeup buy until. Figure out when you can break it and buy that product that you're craving, and figure out which product exactly you want so that you're not just, wandering into Sephora and picking up 3 new foundations. Take time and, watch reviews, look at all your options, and hopefully this will distract you somewhat and make you hyper focus on the one product that you need rather than thinking about all the products that you want. If you have a timeline and you're thinking, okay, I only have 1 more month and then I can go buy the product that I want, I think this will make it a little bit more manageable because that that there is an end date to that makeup no-buy that you're on. Think about, if you're looking forward to a vacation or even like the end of the workday, thinking there's only 5 days left until I go, or I only have 2 hours until I'm done my shift or whatever, then it makes it a lot more manageable to make it through that time when you kind of know the end date or, the date of the thing that you're looking forward to. Okay, my next tip is to actually take a couple days off wearing makeup entirely, like in a row. So if you're the kind of person like me who wears makeup pretty well 6 days of the week, I try to take 1 day off unless I have, things going on all 7 days. I think it's actually a good idea to, when you can, carve out some time to not wear makeup at all. So if you have 3 days where you have no social plans, you're not seeing anyone, then try to take those 3 days and not wear any makeup. Maybe do some fun skincare or your nails or something. Take the time off makeup so that you are really looking forward to putting on makeup on that 4th day. Sometimes when I'm putting makeup on every day, it doesn't get dull because I still always enjoy putting it on in the morning, but sometimes it's, just not as exciting because I just see it as like part of my day. But if I make the conscious choice to not wear makeup for a couple of days, then I'm really going to be looking forward to that morning, and I will probably have something more creative planned for like my eyeshadow look, and maybe I'll have some videos saved that I want to watch while I'm doing my makeup because it's more of a special occasion. So by taking some time off makeup, I think you would find your collection and your products a little bit more exciting. The next tip is to actually do a makeup swap with a friend. I have talked about this recently because Shawna and I actually did a makeup swap recently. She gave way more things to me than I gave to her. There was only 2 products that she wanted, and she's really happy with it. She decluttered to me literally this whole bag of makeup, including an eyeshadow palette, foundation, blush, bronzer. So I definitely got the good end of the deal here. I am wearing the eyeshadow palette on my eyes today. It is the Huda palette. I'm really happy with it. I love the way it looks. And now it's so exciting because I have all of these new products that aren't actually new. And this is especially good to do if you're trading an equal number of products, because then that way you're not, making your collection bigger or bringing more things in. Obviously, that's not the situation here, especially if you're on a strict makeup no-buy. You can plan to exchange the exact same number of products with a friend. These can be things that were on your chopping block, so you wanted to get rid of anyways. And this will just sort of reinvigorate your collection a little bit, while at the same time making sure that it doesn't grow any bigger. This next tip sort of touches on something I talked about earlier, which relates to getting more creative with what you already have in your collection. I save videos and pictures all the time from Instagram and YouTube of makeup looks that I want to try, and so rarely do I actually try to recreate those looks, even though I always have the intention of doing so. That's why I save them. But I think this is a great activity to do if you feel like you've used all of your products in every which way that you can, especially with eyeshadows. If you're like, this eyeshadow palette is like so basic, there's really only 2 different looks I can do with it. Try to see if that actually is true. Go and look up that palette on YouTube or similar palettes and see if people have ideas for different ways to use it, so that you can really try different looks and, feel more positively towards that product. Because I can guarantee you there's always going to be ways to use products that you haven't thought of yourself. There's always a way that you can get more creative with the products that you already have in your collection. Also, Pinterest. I think Pinterest is a great resource for makeup. Again, it's just pictures, so if you'd rather look for video-specific ideas for inspiration, do that. But either way, just look for inspiration for makeup looks. The next tip is to project pan. Now, maybe you are already doing this, but if you're not, highly recommend project panning as a way to have a different relationship with your collection, because it really encourages you to think about your products in terms of how much use you've got out of them and try to finish off the product. That being your goal, to actually finish what you have in your collection rather than to aim to have the biggest collection possible or to always have the newest thing. It really flips something in your mind. Sorry, my camera keeps dying, so I keep having to like take it out, and I feel like that angle changes a little bit every time. I don't understand why this is an issue. Like, I always hear YouTubers complaining about how their camera battery died and they had to like recharge it and then wait, and then like, There are so many YouTubers now whose sole need for a camera is to film videos. Like, I guess the occasional picture, but honestly, mostly people take those with their phones. And yet, cameras have not evolved to allow batteries to last for longer than, like, I don't know, this can maybe film for like 15 minutes before it dies or like gets too hot. Like, there's clearly a market for this. Like, why is this still an issue? I don't understand. Anyways, I feel like every so often I'll like complain about some technological issue, knowing absolutely nothing about technology, but just being like, why is this still a problem? Like, it's 2022. First world problems for sure. But anyways, yes, project panning, highly recommend, will totally change your relationship with the way you see your products and will make your goal to finish what you already have rather than be thinking about what's new. The next tip is to be accountable, however you want to do this. I mean, obviously, I have a YouTube channel, so I post when I finish empties on YouTube or on Instagram. A lot of people have created Instagram accounts just to stay accountable and make sure that they're panning their products, whether that be their eyeshadow palettes or, you know, making progress on their powder makeup. And I see a ton of challenges and like people posting on their stories, like how many days out of the month did they stick to their no-buy? How many did they actually purchase things? So you don't, of course, have to use social media this way, but if you do have a makeup Instagram account, I would highly recommend doing that. Even like finding a friend and letting them know that you want to stick to a makeup no-buy, or if you know one of your friends also wants to stop buying makeup, or even another thing, if they're really into books and they feel like they buy too many, they stop buying books for a month, you stop buying makeup for a month. Just make sure that you find someone or some other people to whom you have accountability, and hopefully that way it will prevent you from going out and buying new makeup and make you feel, you know, more dedicated to the products you already have. And the final tip I have for you today is to actually look internally and think more critically about why you are even having this issue in the first place. Why is it that you feel like you're in a makeup slump or a no-buy slump and that you want to buy new things? When we think about even like clothing, it is so accessible right now to have huge wardrobes. You know, even if you are not high income, if you are making like a fairly modest salary, fast fashion is such that we can all have pretty large wardrobes with fairly inexpensive clothes. And this is really the first time in history that this has ever been a thing. I mean, even when you think back to like our grandparents' generation, they probably didn't have more than like a couple dress options, and yet we feel like we do not have enough clothing. We never feel like we have enough. We feel like there's nothing in our wardrobe, even while our closets are overflowing. And I think it's the same with makeup. Makeup has really only been around for less than 100 years, at least at an accessible level for everyone. And it's only been within the past 20 years that the industry has proliferated to the extent that it has. And yet we feel like we're always behind and like we need to keep up with what's new, where this is a very, very modern thing. We have been socialized this way. We have been socialized to be consumers, and your desire to shop is not innate in you as a person. It has been created because of marketing, because of these, you know, corporations that want you to spend your money on them. So maybe this is not helpful for you, but framing it this way to me sort of makes me realize that these like needs I feel for more makeup or more clothing are not really needs. They're just desires, and they're not desires that are innate to me even. So that is it. Those are all of my tips. Again, make sure that you check out Shawna's video. I'm curious to see if we went completely different directions on this one, or if we are somewhat similar in our tips. I will link it below. And lastly, of course, let's talk about a book that I've been reading lately. This video is also going up on my birthday, so that's super exciting for me. Yeah, I have a very fun birthday weekend planned. Hopefully I will do a vlog that you will see at some point in the future. So the book that I have been reading lately is called Love Lettering by Clayborn. This I'm actually listening to on audio. All of the books that I had on hold on audio were nonfiction, and I kind of just felt like listening to a fiction book, and this has been so highly recommended from Anne Bogle or Modern Mrs. Darcy. Usually I like her recommendations, but I feel like her romance book recommendations are just not for me. Actually, and same with her like YA books, because right before this I read One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, which I didn't really like that much. And similarly, I am quite underwhelmed by this book. I think I'm just very picky with romances, and I don't even think I can describe like why I'm underwhelmed. The characters are boring, and I am fed up with the main character's internal monologue. I think I have an issue with really insecure characters most of the time. Yeah, maybe that's part of it. I don't know if that's true across the board, but that has been my main issue, I think, with the main protagonist of this and One Last Stop. I just don't really like listening to them. So it's a fun book. Basically, it's a romance. This woman is like a wedding planner, and she can always tell if a couple is going to break up or not. And so someone for whom she worked and she knew was going to, not make it with his fiance, he's basically like, how did you know? And they start talking, etc. It's fine, it's light, it's really nothing special, unfortunately. But if you have good romance novels that are like fun, maybe have an element of fantasy in them, or like something that differentiates them. Some movie romances I love are Stardust and Bridgerton. Yeah, I honestly can't think of any books right now where I love the romance. But that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye!